Joe, when Chris Young got here, he said he just wanted to contribute in any way possible. Did you ever expect him to contribute the way he has the last 3 days?
Well, I mean, he's done an awful lot. We said he was a talented player that we thought just had, a rough year this year, and he had power, and there's some things that he could do, and he's played extremely well. He almost hit another home run tonight. He just got jammed a little bit, but that's a huge hit for us.
What do you think that's like for a player that really had a tough start and really all season until he came here?
It's got to be gratifying because players are competitors, and when they have tough years, it's very difficult. But the thing is, and we've talked about these guys never stop working and never trying to get better, and that's exactly what he's done. He's been out for a number of simulated games, getting at bats, trying to be ready when we called upon, and he was.
You go back to that 8th inning when you guys first got on the board, courtesy of the Prado home run. How difficult of an at-bat is that, coming in that late in the game, pinch hitting, considering he hasn't played it in a couple games?
Yeah, it's difficult. He's been locked in, and he's still locked in, thank goodness. But he had 3 or 4 good swings in that at-bat. It wasn't just like he put one good swing in that at-bat. And that was a big hit to get us on board as well.
It's not often you go from being no hit to winning in that fashion. What's that range of emotions like as you go through those 2 innings?
It's pretty. It gets pretty excited in the dugout, obviously, and Prado gets that huge hit, and it just kind of lifts it up. And it's interesting. Jeet said, He does it all the time, and that's why he's been such a great player and a great leader. He said, we're going to get 2 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th. We're going to win this game. When I went out in the 8th inning and made the pitching change to Michael Pineda.
Joe, in the back.
Joe, how are Headley and Jeter feeling right now?
Probably not too good. Jeet's x-rays came back negative, which is good. You have to see if he's a player tomorrow. Obviously, when you get hit in that spot in the elbow, it's really difficult. Headley, we're not so sure on. He will go to the doctor and have a facial x-ray because he got hit in the chin. It doesn't appear that he needs stitches. He didn't, we don't think he had any teeth. His teeth are all there, but I still think you have to get his jaw x-rayed. And obviously he won't go with us to Baltimore. He could join us tomorrow at some point, but he will not leave with us to Baltimore tonight.
Up front here, Andrew. Dan.
Headley, is the concussion a concern? Or?
Yeah, there's a lot of concerns because of where he got hit. So that's why he's going to get showered and go right to the hospital and do a bunch of tests.
And then Chris Young, when you look at him, obviously you said he's had a bad year, but did you ever think that he would have these type of moments that he's had, especially the last couple of days?
Well, you can't tell what your needs are going to be. That's the thing. But that's why we went and got him, because we thought he could help us. And he got an opportunity because Girardi's hurt. We didn't expect Girardi to be out, but he's taken full advantage of his opportunity.
Joe, how scary is it when you see Headley get hit in that area?
It's extremely scary. If you've ever been hit in the face with a fastball, it's any pitch. It's just extremely rough. Players get through it, but at the time it's scary, and it's probably even more scary for the families that are in attendance. His wife's there, and she's not exactly sure what's going on when he's laying on the field. But it's a scary moment.
Did he seem to have his whereabouts?
Yeah, he's really pretty clear, talking to him in there, and which, you're not sure when you get hit like that how you're going to be, but he never lost consciousness from what I saw, and seemed as good as you could see him getting hit with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the face.
And just to get back to the game, we've talked a lot about the hole that you guys have to get out of, but to overcome 2 4-run deficits in 2 nights, is that something that maybe you can build on?
You sure hope so. And I've said this team is not going to stop playing, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going at it, and guys are running. Prado, has been out a few days, and he comes in and does his job. The bullpen has done a tremendous job. We're going to keep going at it, see where we fall.
Jamal.
With Chris Young, did you guys have him make any adjustments in his swing or do anything different when you brought him
That would
in?
be a question for Kevin. He hasn't been here very long, and a lot of times, we don't make a lot of changes with a guy we're just seeing for the first time, but that's a question for Kevin.
Andrew.
The clarify, when Derek said that, that was when Pineda was coming out.
Well, I'm not exactly. I went to the mound a few times.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, he just, I've always talked about Derek is that his belief that we can overcome anything and that he can overcome anything. And that's what makes him so special, and that's what really drives him. And he was right tonight.
The 2 homers by Escobar off of Pineda, what was he trying to do? Did he get
Just
the same thing
hanging
both
sliders. He just made mistakes with sliders. As far as Michael's concerned, I thought he battled because I didn't think he had his A stuff tonight. You think about the 2 hits that he gave up before the home run. They weren't hit extremely hard. He gave up a ton of hits and didn't give up a lot of runs. So I thought, he pitched out of trouble a lot tonight and did a good job of at least keeping us in the game.
Anthony.
Joe, since we are in a town with 2 baseball teams and Chris was on the one across town, I'm sure Met fans are going through a lot of hand-wringing over him having a bunch of big hits for the Yankees this week and what he's done. Are you ever amazed at that kind of stuff, that baseball, gives us that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's amazing how quick things can turn around for a player that plays every day. I mean, that's the great thing about it. I mean, you can be 0 for 30 and all of a sudden you go, 10 for 15. I mean, that's just the way the game is, and a lot of times it doesn't make sense. You may feel great, and then the next day you go out and you're beat up and you're exhausted and you get 3 hits, and you don't hit a ball hard. The game never makes sense, and I think sometimes we try to make sense out of it, but when you figure it out, let me know.
Dan.
How tough a call was it to put Prado in there, given the hamstring?
Yeah, well, I tried to give him plenty of notice, and I said, you know what, I'm going to pinch hit for you, and then, if you get a single, I'll probably run for you. And then when he hit the home run and it was 4-2, I said, are you okay to play third? He said, I'm great, I'm fine. I said, okay, you're going to stay in there.
Anybody else? Anthony.
I didn't really get a good look at Chase getting hit there. Did that ball hit him somewhere else and then hit him in the chin, or it just hit him in the chin?
Directly in the chin, right here.
So flush in the chin. It wasn't like a graze.
Yeah, and he's got some cuts. I don't think, they don't think they'll require stitches, but obviously he's got seam marks as well. But the concern is the jaw, and we'll get that all tested.